Picture this. I'm at this crammed city cafe, the kind of place where the coffee's strong enough to kickstart a dead battery. I'm there, scrolling through my phone, not looking for anything in particular, when this new guy from work, Alex, just appears. Like out of nowhere. He's got this vibe, you know? Like he's just come off some wild adventure and decided to drop by. We start chatting, and damn, there's this spark. Not the static kind you get from rubbing socks on the carpet, but the real, fireworks kind. And yeah, I know, I've got this shiny ring on my finger that's supposed to mean something, but right then, it's like it's not even there. Fast forward a bit, and I'm on my way home, deleting texts from Alex faster than my conscience can keep up. It's like playing a twisted game of hide and seek with my guilt. I walk through the door, and there's Tom, my husband, looking all comfortable and familiar. I give him this peck on the cheek, babbling about how my day was just the usual pile of nothing special. He buys it. Or at least, he pretends to, which is all I need right then. Things with Alex, they start wrapping up. We're finding all these secret spots around the city, places I never knew existed. It's like we're in our little world, sharing bits and pieces of ourselves. Dreams that felt too silly to tell Tom, fears that seemed too dark. It's intoxicating, being with someone who makes you feel like the person you've always wanted to be, not just the role you ended up playing. Of course, I've got to keep the act up at home. Telling Tom I'm working late has become my go-to lie. I spend my evenings at Alex's place, and every time I say I won't let it go further, but it always does. The guilt's there, nagging at me, but I shove it down. Hard. But Tom's not an idiot. He starts picking up on things. The late nights, the way I'm suddenly always on my phone, how I flinch a little when he touches me. He starts asking questions, and I'm dodging them like a pro. Just stressed from work, I say, or, you're imagining things, babe. But every lie makes his frown deepen, and I can see something breaking in his eyes. Then, one day, I'm looking for a scarf or something in our bedroom, and I find this envelope in Tom's drawer. It's tickets to Paris, for our anniversary. My heart just drops. He'd been planning this surprise, trying to rekindle whatever spark we had left, and here I am, throwing it all away for some fling. I feel this wave of regret, so strong it almost knocks me over, but I push it aside. Can't afford to dwell on it, not when there's no turning back. Things with Alex, they keep heating up. We end up taking this trip together, pretending it's for work. A whole weekend in this little seaside town, where nobody knows us. It's like playing house, walking hand in hand along the beach, dinners by candlelight. It feels like a dream, one I don't want to wake up from. But every dream ends, right? So there I am, living this double life, caught between the safe, familiar love I have with Tom and the wild, intoxicating thing I've got with Alex. And I keep telling myself I can handle it, that I can keep juggling these two worlds without dropping the ball. But deep down, I know. I know it's only a matter of time before everything comes crashing down. And the worst part? Part of me can't wait to watch it happen. So, you know how things were getting all kinds of complicated with Alex. Well, it all started to unravel faster than a cheap sweater. Picture this. We're out grabbing lunch, trying to act all normal, but let's be real, we were anything but. And who of all people spots us? Jenna from accounting. Jenna, with her gossip radar that's always on high alert. She doesn't say anything, just shoots us this look. And I just know, it's game over. Fast forward to the next bombshell. Tom, my husband, who's been getting more and more distant, suddenly hits me with this curveball. He's holding his phone, face all kinds of thunderous, showing me these photos. Photos of me and Alex, looking way too cozy. And they're not from Jenna. They're sent by some anonymous hero trying to save the day. Care to explain? He asks. Voice so cold it could freeze hell over. I'm caught. No two ways about it. So, I spill everything. It's like watching a car crash, you know? You want to look away, but you just can't. Tom's face, it just crumbles. And then, he's gone. Packs a bag and leaves, off to crash with his buddy Mark. The silence he leaves behind is deafening. So, what do? I move in with Alex, because that's obviously the next logical step in this disaster of a love story. It's thrilling, at first. Waking up next to him, no sneaking around, it feels like freedom. But it's not long before that shiny new toy starts to lose its luster. Alex, Mr. Adventure, starts showing his true colors. Commitment? Might as well be speaking Klingon to the guy. And his eye starts wandering like he's shopping for the next best thing. One night, I overhear him on the phone, bragging to a buddy like I'm some kind of trophy. Just another conquest, he laughs, and man, does that sting. I thought we had something real, but turns out, I was just another notch on his bedpost. That's when the paranoia kicks in. I start doing the one thing I swore I'd never do. I snoop through his phone while he's asleep. And surprise, surprise, it's like a flirtatious message buffet in there. Texts from women whose names I don't even recognize, all cozy and familiar with Alex. It hits me then, like a slap in the face with a wet fish. What the hell am I doing? I traded in my marriage, my stability, for this? For late night creeping in doubts and feeling like I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop? So, there I am, stuck in this mess of my own making. Living with a guy who sees me as just another conquest, haunted by the wreckage of a marriage I torpedoed for a love that turned out to be as shallow as a kiddie pool. And let me tell you, the view from rock bottom? It's not great at all. Alright, so let me paint you a picture of where things took a nosedive. There I was, thinking I could confront Alex about all those flirty texts without it turning into World War III. Boy, was I wrong. We're in the middle of this cramped living room, which suddenly feels way too small, and I bring up the messages. His face goes from confused to furious in like 0 to 60. You're being paranoid, he snaps, and controlling, just like you were with Tom. Ouch, right? Like, twist the knife, why don't you? Feeling like a deflated balloon, I reach out to Sarah, my go-to friend for all crises, expecting a shoulder to cry on. But instead of sympathy, I get a cold dose of reality. What did you expect? She says, her voice icy. You made this bed, now lie in it. Talk about tough love, or just tough, really. With nowhere left to turn, I dial Tom's number, my heart pounding like it's trying to break free. But what greets me isn't his voice, it's that robotic message telling me the number's been changed. It feels like someone's just punched me in the gut. The finality of it, you know? A few days later, I'm walking past Tom's house. It's masochistic, maybe, but I can't help myself. And there he is, in the living room, laughing with some woman. Not just any laugh, but that head thrown back, genuinely happy kind of laugh. The kind I haven't seen in months, maybe even years. It's like a dagger right through my heart. Just when I think things can't get any worse, Alex drops his own bombshell. He's got a job offer in another city, and he's taking it, whether I'm in the picture or not. The way he says it, so matter of fact, like our whole thing was just a temporary arrangement, it floors me. So, there I am, watching him pack his bags, feeling this mix of disbelief and heartbreak. The door slams shut behind him, and the silence that follows is deafening. I'm left in this empty apartment, surrounded by the remnants of what I thought was love but was really just a mirage. The fallout's immediate, without a job and with my reputation in tatters thanks to the affair becoming public knowledge, I'm like this pariah. My professional network? Gone. Job opportunities? Non-existent. It's like I've been blacklisted in every way that counts. So, I'm jobless, loveless, and pretty much friendless, stuck in an apartment that feels more like a prison than a home. The realization hits me hard. I traded everything for what I thought was love, but ended up with nothing. It's a tough pill to swallow, knowing you're the architect of your own disaster. But there it is, the bed I made, and now I have no choice but to lie in it. Let me tell you, hitting rock bottom doesn't even begin to cover it. One day, I'm mindlessly scrolling through social media, trying to distract myself from the mess that's my life, when I see it. Pictures of Tom and his new girlfriend, all smiles and sunshine. They look so happy. It's like a punch to the gut, seeing him move on while I'm still stuck in this nightmare I created. Then, the messages start coming in. Anonymous, of course, but each one like a dagger. Hone wrecker. You got what you deserved. It's relentless. Each ping of my phone is like a reminder of how far I've fallen. So, I do what any sane person would do when they're at their lowest. I go to our old favorite cafe, thinking maybe, just maybe, I'll find a piece of myself there. Instead, I overhear this couple at the next table. Did you hear about the woman who ruined her marriage for a fling? They whisper, not knowing I'm right there, living proof of their gossip. It's humiliating, like I've become some cautionary tale. Feeling like I've got nothing left to lose, I reach out to friends I've neglected, hoping for a lifeline. But it's like untoxic. They either ignore my calls or greet me with this chilly politeness that's worse than outright hostility. I'm an outcast, and it's all my own doing. Then, just when I think things can't get any worse, I get hit with a legal notice. Tom's demanding the return of the expensive gifts he gave me over the years, plus some sort of financial settlement. It's like the universe is kicking me while I'm down. So, I start selling everything. Jewelry, clothes, even the damn gifts Alex gave me, trying to scrape together enough to cover my debts and legal fees. Each item sold feels like I'm erasing bits of myself, bits of my past. And then, the eviction notices start, one after the other, piling up like some sick joke. My financial instability isn't just a threat anymore, it's a reality. I'm on the brink of losing everything, and there's no safety net waiting to catch me. So, here I am, standing amidst the ruins of the life I once knew, selling off pieces of my past just to keep afloat. It's a sobering reality, realizing you're the architect of your own disaster. But maybe, just maybe, hitting rock bottom means the only way left to go is up. At least, that's what I keep telling myself to get through the day. So, there I was, at rock bottom, staring at my phone like it was some kind of lifeline. I'm thinking, maybe Alex. Maybe he'd understand. Maybe he'd. But who am I kidding? I go to call, to text, anything, and bam, blocked. Every single way to reach him, shut down. It's like I never existed to him. Talk about a wake-up call, huh? Desperation's got a funny way of pushing you places you never thought you'd go. So, I find myself slinging coffee and pie at this local diner. Me, who used to lead meetings and close deals, now am dodging syrup spills and enduring those pity looks from customers who think they know my story. They don't have a clue. Then, one ordinary Tuesday, as I'm wiping down tables, in walks Tom. With her. They don't even see me at first. I'm just part of the scenery, invisible. But then, our eyes meet, just for a second, and there's this flash of a euro something. Not recognition, not quite. More like surprise, maybe pity. They eat, they leave, and there's this generous tip on the table. Like a charity case. It stings more than I thought possible. That night, I'm sitting in my tiny, cramped apartment, you know, the kind where you can touch both walls if you stretch out your arms, and I start writing this letter to Tom. Not that I'll send it. It's more like talking to a ghost. I pour everything into it, every regret, every wish for his happiness. It's cathartic, but also like reopening a wound just to watch it bleed. And as if my personal soap opera needed more viewers, next thing I know, my downfall's being picked over on gossip blogs. A cautionary tale of infidelity, they call me. Great. As if I don't replay my mistakes every night in vivid technicolor. Trying to scrape some semblance of a life back together, I move into this apartment that's so run down, it's practically a caricature of starting over. But it's mine, in all its leaky faucet, creaky floorboard glory. I'm surrounded by the ghosts of my past life, trying to convince myself this is just a temporary setback. Then, because life apparently hadn't kicked me enough, I end up in the hospital. Some stupid, scary health thing that comes out of nowhere. And lying there, in that too big hospital bed, it hits me how alone I am. No Alex, no Tom, not even a friend to call. It's just me, facing down my vulnerability like it's the final boss in a game I never wanted to play. So, here's the thing. When you're lying in a hospital bed, with nothing but your thoughts and the steady beep of some machine tracking your existence, you get real clear on a few things. Like how much of a mess I've made of things, and how there's no magic reset button. Starting over isn't just about finding a new place to live or a new job, it's about dealing with the mess you've made, inside and out. It's rough, knowing you're the architect of your own disaster. But there's also this weird, stubborn spark inside me that refuses to go out. Maybe it's pride, or maybe it's just plain old survival instinct, but I'm not ready to be counted out. Not yet. Okay, so there I was, feeling like my life's been tossed into a blender set on high. But then, I figure, maybe there's a way to piece some bit of me back together, you know? So, I decide to volunteer at this local shelter. It's not much, but it feels like a step in the right direction. A way to do something good out of the wreck I become. The shelter, man, it's like this tiny beacon of hope in my storm. Helping out there, feeding people who've got even less than I do, it gives me this sense of purpose, I guess. But even in this place, where everyone's running from their own demons, I can't escape mine. The whispers start up, not mean, but not kind either. That's her, the one who, yeah, my story's out, and it's like this shadow I can't shake off. Then, out of the blue, I get this letter. It's from Tom. My heart stops for a sec because, for this tiny, stupid moment, I think maybe. But no, it's a goodbye, in his neat handwriting, telling me he's found peace, he's moving on. And he's wishing me the same. It's kind, but it cuts deep. It's like he's closing a door I didn't even know I was hoping would stay open just a crack. So, there I am, letter in hand, feeling like I've been gut-punched, when this wild thought hits me, what about Alex? Maybe, just maybe, there's something there, right? But a quick dive into the black hole of social media slams the door shut too. He's engaged, looking all happy and in love. And there it is, my past and my possible future, both telling me I'm not part of their story anymore. Feeling like I'm running out of options, I sign up for this night class. It's some business course, supposed to help me get my career back on track. I'm there, trying to blend into the background, but it's like I'm wearing this neon sign. They know who I am, what I did. Making connections, networking, it's a minefield. Every conversation feels like walking on eggshells, my reputation this giant elephant in the room. But here's the thing, despite the whispers, the pitying looks, and the doors slammed in my face, I'm still here. I'm fighting, clawing my way out of this pit I dug for myself. The shelter, the class, it's not much, but it's something. A start. And maybe, just maybe, it's enough to build something new on. Because at the end of the day, that's all any of us can do, right? Take the rubble of our past mistakes and try to build something better. So, yeah, my life's a mess, but for the first time in a long time, I'm feeling like maybe, just maybe, I can clean it up. So, here's the deal. After everything that went down, I found myself scraping together what little I had left, which wasn't much, let me tell you. But among the rubble, there was this one thing I still knew how to do, my work. So, I hatched this plan to start my own online business. Think small, nothing fancy, just using the skills I hadn't managed to mess up. Launching the business was like jumping into the deep end without knowing how to swim. It was tough, tougher than I thought it would be. Orders trickled in slower than a leaky faucet, and there were days I thought about throwing in the towel. But something inside me, maybe stubbornness or maybe just sheer desperation, wouldn't let me quit. Then, out of nowhere, this former colleague of mine reaches out. We hadn't talked in ages, not since my life had turned into a soap opera episode. He had this freelance project and thought of me. Can you believe that? It was like this tiny sliver of light in a whole lot of darkness. A chance to prove I wasn't a complete write-off. Working on that project felt like coming home after being lost at sea. It was hard, sure, but it reminded me of who I used to be, before all the drama. When it wrapped up, the client was thrilled, and word started to spread. It was a win, but it was also a reality check. The professional world had spun on without me, and catching up wasn't going to be as easy as I hoped. Slowly but surely, my little online venture began to find its footing. Orders started coming in with a bit more regularity, and I could finally see a glimmer of something that looked like stability. It wasn't much, but it was mine, and it was honest. For the first time in a long while, I felt a spark of real pride. But then, this local newspaper decides to run a piece on me. Local women's fight back from scandal, or some nonsense like that. Suddenly, I'm back in the spotlight, but not in a way I'd ever wished for. The article talked about my resilience, sure, but it also dredged up all the sordid details of my past. Just like that, I'm the talk of the town again, and not in a good way. So, I muster up the courage to show my face at this community event, thinking maybe, just maybe, people have moved on. Spoiler alert. They haven't. The whispers, the stares, it's like high school all over again, only with higher stakes and deeper scars. That night, I'm back in my apartment, this tiny space that's become my world, and it hits me. I've come a long way, yeah, but at what cost? My marriage, my reputation, the love I thought was real, it's all gone, burned to the ground by the choices I made. And there's no going back, no magic reset button. Sitting there, in the quiet, I finally let myself feel it all. The loss, the regret, the faint hope of something new. It's not much, but it's a start.